Welcome to another episode of Three Questions with Commercial Integrator. Today's guest is Frank Mayer, Senior Vice President of Technology Enabled Services for AVI-SPL. Frank, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have Frank here. I've actually seen AVI-SPL Symphony in action at several trade shows. I've talked to Frank about it in the past, and I think it's an extremely impressive technology that a lot of integrators and end users alike should be aware of because it can do a lot for different kind of environments. But I'll let Frank explain. So question number one, Frank, is what is AVI-SPL's Symphony?
So we call Symphony an experience management application. It's really a cloud-based today, and next year will be on-prem as well, which focuses on monitoring, managing, controlling of AV, UC devices, meetings, locations, and we integrate end-to-end with a single pane of glass across all the technology underneath the application, and we provide at the far end of it a actionable business intelligence. And the areas that I mentioned above is made possible by what we call an adaptive library methodology, and this enables us to integrate with ticketing systems such as Salesforce.com and ServiceNow, and scheduling with like Exchange, having an Outlook plugin, TMS, EMS, and also analytics applications such as Power BI. And then our device management application allows us to, again, have adapters specifically written for majority of our partners such as Poly, Cisco, Crestron, Surgex, Shore, Pexip, and you name it. And also the whole idea of Symphony is making sure that we save the meeting, we are proactive, and we provide information to drive the decision making.
Yeah, you mentioned analytics and you mentioned that information and providing more information, but drilling down into that a little bit more, how does Symphony help customers and partners gain insight into technology use?
AVI-SPL has been in this business for about 40 years, and as part of the relationship, as part of this relationship, we've been with leading manufacturers. We've been working with AV and UC systems, and it goes beyond selling. It goes beyond training and experiencing. You have to provide some sort of information about how the technology is used, and also be able to see the problems before they occur, before they start affecting other people. So together with these two technologies, we provide data that we have gathered from these devices, from these meetings, into insight of the utilization, insight of what's going on. For example, we had a customer that had issues with one device, and the device was starting to show problems. We narrowed it down with our business intelligence, realizing that the power supply from a certain manufacturer of a certain model of the device was defective. We replaced the power supplies and never saw the problem. So the whole idea really is providing an insight to the devices that are there, and with this insight, provide an actionable services that we could provide, so the users don't even know and are not really concerned about the technology underneath.
Yeah, and I think with these kinds of monitoring software and platforms, I think a lot of users are used to software that will monitor certain things for them, like their projection systems or certain rooms or whatever it might be. But how can Symphony be used to monitor a larger scale Internet of Things deployment?
So Internet of Things is a rather nebulous term that people use, and but almost every manufacturer of an IoT device has their own set of APIs. And one of the advantages that we have with Symphony, with the concept that I mentioned earlier with the adapter libraries, you can actually write specific adapters for a specific device and have Symphony monitor it completely transparently and without any the user having any knowledge of the device that's underneath it. So that's the way we've seen it. People at home are used to it because they buy devices from Nest, from GE, etc., and they put it inside their system, and they get their Amazon Echo to be able to monitor it and not monitor it, but actually control the devices. Imagine enlarging this and bringing this to a much larger organization and across the countries, across offices, and across different technologies exactly at the same time. And that's how Symphony brings this about. And with use of the APIs in conjunction with our device adapter libraries, we can come up with adapters for devices, either us or the manufacturer or a third party compatibility adapters, and we can manage even devices that Symphony has never thought of monitoring, managing, or controlling. We could do that with IoT devices, and we don't have to just rely on basic things like SNMP and the likes. And then we can, at the other part of it, we can also provide analytics of usage of pattern of behavior of the device, CPU utilization, for example, at the end of a period.
Okay, well, that's a ton to dig into for integrators. If they want to learn more, or end users that might end up utilizing the system, if they want to learn more, can they learn more about it on AVI-SPL's website?
Absolutely, avi-spl.com/symphony.
Okay, well, Frank Mayer, Senior Vice President of Technology Enabled Services for AVI-SPL, thank you so much for joining us for these 3 questions.
Thank you, it was my pleasure.